SexyHackers.com.
Once upon a time, there were a few young girls with a passion for literature, a love of the written word, an inspired infatuation of... Okay, fine. We were a bunch of super dorks with no friends. We spent all day hiding out in our rooms, reading books that were maybe a little inappropriate.
Hello and welcome to Who Let Me Read This, the podcast where a group of us folks get together and discuss the inappropriate and often terribly written books of our young adult lives, often that we read at way too young of an adult, and going back to review them and how it's colored our view on the world and how much money we've spent on therapy. A little bit, just a little bit. Today, we will be heading up the conclusion of The Evil Twin.
The thrilling conclusion.
Thrilling conclusion of The Evil Twin from the Sweet Valley High series. Yay. Which did not always have super thrilling books. They were kind of oddly dull plot points in some of them. Sorry, Francine. This is kind of like a thriller, though.
Yeah, they had a whole series of thrillers and super thrillers.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, homicidal maniacs are not that uncommon in Sweet Valley. Some of the episodes, some of the books, had like very kind of dull. I don't want to say dull.
No, it was
ordinary
dull.
kind of plot points. Like, Hannah was just talking about the next couple of books in the series. They like find out that their mom was married before. She has a first husband. Like, okay.
There was one I remember very specifically from my youth. It's the whole plot point was that Mercury was in retrograde, so Jessica was clumsy for a while. That was the whole thing, was that she would do something kind of klutzy and like trip and pretend to be Elizabeth in front of the boy she liked. And so then the boy thought that the klutzy, silly girl was Elizabeth, and then he liked her. That was it. She was just clumsy. Like, shit, girl, you're probably just getting your period. That happens.
I actually thought while I was reading this that it was much more interesting than I remembered, because I remember trying to read Sweet Valley High, and because it seemed like it should be something I liked. But I wasn't a twin, so there's probably one reason. And then I was bored, so.
Nope. Hot takes from our guest, Michelle White.
But this was much more interesting. I must have started, who knows what one I picked up, and I got to, I'm like, oh yeah, they fancy. Look how cute they are. I like this description of clothes. Oh, okay, no.
That's all. Yeah, I'm bored. oh, Jessica has to take a test, and she didn't study, so she wants Elizabeth to take it for her. I'm pretty sure that was the plot of one of the books, too.
That's it. And also with us today, Miss Sarah Wallisch. And her twin, not the evil twin. This is, well, we haven't established that you're the good twin, but we've established you're not the evil twin, Hanna Wallisch. Would you say you're the good twin?
In general, I would, but I was thinking about what's the worst thing that ever happened between us, and like what's my most evil twin moment. And I have to say it was when I stabbed Sarah in the leg with a pencil.
She gave me my first tattoo.
Yeah. So
I have a mark.
If you ever look at Sarah's upper thigh, she has a piece of graphite still embedded in her leg.
Yep.
Courtesy of me.
Was this intentional? Was there reason?
Absolutely.
It was in a moment of anger.
I threw a pencil at her and it hit her in the head. And so she took it and whack. Stabbed me in the leg with it. Yep.
Right.
How old were you guys?
High school? Probably like young, like late middle school or early high school, probably.
Yeah, not like a toddler and like
No, there was like definite intent behind it. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Has she apologized before this moment?
I don't think so.
That was it. Do your parents know about this?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
they
I
do
think
now.
They probably do, yeah.
They probably do. This wasn't a thing like you ran immediately to them, like, that's on my leg.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I probably did something to like instigate.
Wow. Did you retaliate? No, I'm just really curious.
Not right away.
Okay. Not that she knows about.
I spiked her punch at the Jungle Prom.
I haven't finished that dream yet. I didn't know.
Which leads us right into our recap so everyone can get caught up. Nice tie-in, Sarah. So If you haven't listened to our previous episodes or hadn't read the book, just to catch you up a little bit, the Wakefield twins are going through some issues because Liz drank some spiked punch that Jessica spiked, and she drove drunk and crashed, killing Jessica's boyfriend Sam, and then got arrested for manslaughter and got acquitted for it though, because it was fine. She's young and blonde, so those things happen. And then their parents just so happen to get tricked into leaving town conveniently right when their evil doppelganger, Margo, shows up, who is plotting to murder Elizabeth and assume her identity, which is just easier than creating, her own life. Gotcha. And then Margo paid local dirtbag James to date Jessica and spy on the twins, and instead he fell in love with Jessica. So Margo murdered him because that's her go-to move. All about that.
Oh, this didn't go the way I expected. Murder it.
Right. Done. And then the only person who saw what really happened and knows who Margo is Josh Smith, the brother of one of the other people she's murdered. And she lets him take the fall for James's murder. Yep. Dang, she's all about that murder. So Margo's big plot that she's let us know is really centering on the huge New Year's Eve party at Jessica's best friend Lila Fowler's mansion. And because, of course, it's a huge party with lots of witnesses, that's exactly where you should murder someone. And then Josh easily breaks out of jail, pretty simply, and heads to the party to try and thwart all of this. And Margo has made this intricate plan to wear the same dress to the party as Elizabeth in preparation to take over her identity. And right before the party, Elizabeth, who took, like we mentioned before, she took a disco nap before the party. Teenagers didn't do that.
Yeah, that's definitely an adult move.
Right. But Elizabeth had a dream right before the party and realizes that it was Jessica who spiked her punch at the jungle prom. What? So Elizabeth has figured it out. Meanwhile, Jessica, 6 months later, a year later, is now hemming and hawing, and she's vowing to confess to doing this sometime before midnight tonight. You always want to make big confessions at a huge ball. Yeah.
Well, she wants to start the new year fresh.
Right. That's
guilt-free.
right. Yeah. Because all you have to do is say you're sorry, and then it's all fine. No.
But Elizabeth's kind of already also, she has the dream and realizes, oh, Jessica spiked my punch, and then that's why all this happened. And then she immediately goes into like, oh, but think about how hard this must have been on her. I'll forgive her.
What? She also stole your boyfriend. Or started dating your boyfriend. You can't steal a boyfriend. Like, started
dating your boyfriend while you were in jail.
Right. Rude.
And then tried to keep you from getting back together.
Yeah. It's not just the punch. There's a lot. There's a lot of layers to
WTF,
this.
Todd.
Gross. Gross.
Never trust a name with two similar consonants.
Uh-oh, Hannah. Where's the pencil?
Shuffle over. Safe. So now it's the big day of the party. It's happening, but it's storming. And they're at the party, but Liz knows that Jessica's going to be at the party because you always want to go to a party where people you're having issues with. And she just runs upstairs to avoid her. Fine. And then Todd, who's lame, he's heard about Josh's escape from jail and thinks that he's coming after Liz and follows her upstairs.
Yeah, she's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And he's like, I'm just going to follow you because I have to keep you safe.
And that's the way to do it. To never
Come
let go
on,
to my
Todd.
side. Come on, Todd. So then once they're upstairs, she tries to put the moves on him. And that's when he immediately realizes that it's not Elizabeth. Because you want to be suspicious when your girlfriend puts the moves on you.
Yeah.
At a party.
Once again, that's my job. Stop trying to take my job.
Yeah.
This is what I do. So then he realizes...
Only I can pressure someone for sex. Oh, Todd, come
Todd.
on.
So problematic. That's when he realizes it's really Margo.
He remembers that Josh told him that there was a girl who looked just like Elizabeth and Jessica who was trying to like harm Elizabeth, and finally like connects the dots.
Right? Instead of sitting down saying, hey, family, let's all have a conversation about this. This guy said this thing and things have been weird. What do you guys think about this?
Nope. In addition, right before she ran upstairs, her friend said to her, "Oh, I just saw you." And she's like, "No, I didn't." And the other friend said to her, "We went shopping." And she's like, "No, we didn't."
Yep.
And this has been happening the whole book.
Yep.
The mom's like, "You were wearing something else." "No, I wasn't." And they have
Thanks for helping me clean the house. I didn't do that.
Right?
And neither of them have mentioned this to anyone, that they keep being mistaken. Like, and it's big things, not like little things, from multiple people. So, I mean, if one of them would have just even hinted that something weird was going on. Anyways.
Nope, not at all. None of those. Again, communication.
Yes.
Communication, everyone. Talk to each other. So, Margo's like, it's really me. And then she just nails Todd in the face with a statue. And that moment, I am Team Margo. Like, well, yep.
Get him.
Fine. And she goes to really wail on him and thinks about killing him, but changes her mind. She's like, no, I'm not going to kill him.
Because that might throw suspicion.
Right.
Not like he's gonna wake up and be like, hey, there's someone pretending to be Elizabeth who hit me in the face with a statue.
But no one will believe him.
Right.
The other people I murdered, they would have believed, but him, they won't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is her line of reasoning.
Yep. And she said he was too handsome because
He's too handsome to
I'm
murder.
gonna save him to be my boyfriend.
right, because he's definitely going to be your boyfriend after you nailed him in the face with a statue.
And after he saw your soulless eyes.
Yeah, did you not notice when they weren't sparkling? Fine. Fine.
Sparkling eyes.
So then she finds the room where Liz is, but then poses as Jess. Again, all hinging on them wearing the correct dress. No one's ever changed
Well, she
their mind
just
about an
talks
outfit.
to her through the door. She's like, hey, it's Jessica. I need to talk to you really, really bad. Meet me by the pool house. Bye.
Yep.
And Liz is like, it's super storming outside. I don't want to run out to the, you're gone. I guess I will go.
Yeah, because you're just like, nope. If I'm pissed at my sister and she's asked me to do something, I'm like, no, bitch, no. I will just see you later.
Especially
Never.
if it's something really inconvenient. Like, you want me to run through the pouring rain out to this outbuilding.
Nope.
No.
Not gonna.
No. We
Also-
can talk in this, empty bedroom.
Right. Also, is Lila really that rich if she doesn't have an indoor pool? I mean, with a connected, they have to go outside to a pool house.
Peasants.
Yeah. Just saying. So now Jessica is looking for real Liz, and she's seeing a flash of lightning. He sees her heading out to the pool house and follows her. And Josh sees Margo and Liz heading towards the pool house and follows them. And Steven has finally decided to be useful in the book, and he's heard the news report about Josh breaking out of jail, and he goes to make sure Liz and Jess are safe. And Todd comes to, he tries to figure out where Liz went after.
So everyone is starting to converge upon the pool house.
Right?
It's all happening at the same time, and yet everything is taking very different amounts of time.
Hugely different. Ridiculous. But it's almost midnight, so things have to happen. Because it's New Year's and it's almost midnight. And also in my head, this was different because we're this podcast is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where it is cold as fuck on New Year's and there's snow.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's New Year's and we're gonna run outside. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I thought that about the strapless dress. I'm like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's winter.
January.
Why are you wearing a strapless dress in January?
Don't be ridiculous. No,
I'm
that's
like,
just-
can I put a turtle? I'm getting ready for New Year's Eve, and I'm like, can I put a turtleneck under this?
Your strapless dress.
Under my strapless dress.
I think it would look very nice.
I think I could rock it with a turtleneck under it.
We'll plan a New Year's party just for this.
Some fleece tights.
Opposite of fancy holiday.
Everyone wear your flannel, your matching flannel jammies.
Oh, isn't that kind of like the Higgy party we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was just it was all about just being a bum. Show up in your pajamas and
Yeah. We'll eat some food. We'll lay around.
trade books. Yeah, it was very nice. Actually, let's do that again.
I
Side
was
note,
not invited to that party. I have no idea what you're talking about, so it really doesn't bother me.
we'll talk. I was like, we'll talk.
We'll make sure you're invited
Put a note in the comments.
if it happens again.
It wasn't ours. But
I love to throw a New Year's Eve party because at the end of the night, everyone else goes home and you are already home.
yep.
Yeah, but you got to clean.
That's true. But you know what? Our friends, like, we're at that age where you have people over and everyone, like, puts their dishes in the sink before they leave.
Yeah. They pick up their cups, you know.
Yeah, everybody picks up their cups. Nobody
That's
breaks
why I'm not
anything.
invited.
Well,
If I throw a New Year's Eve party, you're invited.
Okay.
yeah. It also helps to be friends with several stage managers. They're great to have at parties. Like,
Yeah.
they show up early. They help you put out all the food. They still to the end of the night. And they're like, how do you want this packaged up? Do you have Tupperware for this? Let me send everyone off in place. Does everyone have their shoes? And you're like, thank you for stage managing my party.
Bless the stage
That
manager.
was really helpful. So now everyone's converging on the pool house. Margot's plan's about to come to fruition. She's getting ready to kill Elizabeth.
Yes, Elizabeth gets to the pool house and finds Margo there, and they're wearing the same dress, and they look the same. And Margo tells her the plan in great detail while holding a knife.
Yeah, just holding it up.
Of course, that's how it always goes, right? Right before they murder you, reveal everything.
Absolutely. And we'll
Which gives Jessica ample time to get to the pool house.
Thank goodness. And we'll get into Margot's evil plan right after this word from our sponsors, from Sexy Hackers Clothing, giving us this awesome space for our podcast and several other podcasts on the channel, which you should check out. And these really awesome t-shirts for us to rock all the time so we don't just walk around topless.
Mine says, I know where this is going, because it's a No Dice shirt from their No Dice Twitch show.
Word. Awesome. All right. We'll be back in just a second.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back for the thrilling conclusion of Who Let Me Read This's review of Sweet Valley High's The Evil Twin. Evil. Last we left, Margo was holding her arm above her head with a knife while explaining her entire plan, and somehow her arm doesn't get tired. Come on. After a while, you're like,
Okay, let me switch
At
hands
least,
for a second.
wave it so she can't get up. Like, I'm waving it.
down.
Obviously, none of us have ever threatened anyone with a knife. We're all like, it seems like it'd make your arm tired, and maybe if you did this instead.
Right.
We're all about the
lactic
theory.
acid
We're all about the theory.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking basic arm strength. Up
Yeah.
here, I do not have as much as I have down here. Like my uppercut and my hook is much stronger. I kickbox are much stronger than my knife drop. I don't know. We don't go over that in class, so maybe that's why we should work on it.
And if you're gonna
Note.
do like a knife drop, you'd think you'd do it with both hands.
That's more
Get
dramatic.
like as much power, and yes, much more dramatic. Although because it's storming, I'm sure that she gets a good like lightning flash silhouette of her with the knife.
And she can also stab car tires really easily. So maybe Margo's really freaking strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Stacked, you might say.
She's been drowning babies for how long?
That's true. She drowned a young boy and
Man, burned a house down. She had to haul a lot of kerosene and such around to just burn that to the ground. All right, so Margo's really freaking strong. We forgot to establish that. She's told the entire plan. And now Margo is about to stab Elizabeth, but Jessica's made her way into the pool house. And when she goes to stab Jessica jumps in between them and she gets stabbed in the shoulder. That is so much bone and cartilage. Come on. You're not going to...
I thought they said upper arm.
or
Sure.
Yeah, I think it was upper arm. I wrote down shoulder on the notes, but I think it was upper arm.
Okay, so upper arm makes more
still.
sense.
She's bleeding.
Logical. Yeah.
They talk about the blood being slippery
Right? Well,
when they're all tussling.
Yeah, and all over.
yikes.
How hard did she stab her?
I mean, she was trying.
She sliced. So it's like,
Slice.
Yeah, that's true. Not a stab, a slice. But Steven's there, their older brother's there, and he's at the party looking for the twins. Mm-hmm. And then Enid, Elizabeth's best friend, the only decent person in this, sees Josh outside and screams. And
Yeah,
Steven
she's like, it's that guy who escaped from jail.
good memory, girl.
Right? She's on it. And then Steven runs outside and tussles with Josh, who's actually just trying to help. And Margo and Liz and Jessica are all wrestling for the knife. And Margo goes to stab Liz again. And Jessica, again, jumps in between them to shield Liz. You're tussling, you're really in close, you're wrestling, and then Jessica jumps back and just, like, leaps in? You're not
rolls
there.
over.
You know,
it's like people who don't understand how bar fights work.
I also feel like the people who write these books probably have never been in a wrestling match with a homicidal knife-wielding doppelganger.
Do your research. Come on.
Yes, and they do describe a lot the how Jessica's bleeding everywhere, and so like the handle of the knife is slippery from her blood, and
both
everything
the girls
is
are
wet
covered in her
and
blood.
bleeding,
Yeah.
and
They're like really into it. You could tell the ghostwriter, you're like, okay, so you're really into blood. Is that like a thing?
drenched.
Like, okay, gotcha.
While that's happening, Todd has been kind of head woundily stumbling around the party being like, has anybody seen Elizabeth? And no one stops him and is like, why do you have, like, why are you bleeding? Why do you have, because I believe they said he has like a cut on his face from getting hit in the face with the statue, and everyone's like, I don't know, haven't seen her. Party.
Happy New Year's. Nothing. Not at all. And then Todd breaks up Stephen and Josh, though, and tells Stephen what's really happening.
About time.
And it's finally
about time he
Todd.
finally told someone.
Thanks, Todd. And so then Josh runs over and he tackles Margo before she can stab the twins, knocks a knife out of her hand, knocks her out of a window onto the patio by the pool, and she falls onto a shard of glass on her throat.
Yes, the shard of glass goes through her throat. And again, with the blood, they describe the blood like spurting out of her throat.
Implying that she cut her.
Yeah, like
Whatever-
it's written as
what's
though
it
she
called?
cut like her aorta.
No.
Aorta.
Aorta is,
the
that's the
thing
big one.
here
Yeah.
that you'll die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big guy. So then the ambulance comes, takes her away. Liz and Jessica make up. And they're like, oh my God, it's fine. And Jessica doesn't have to take responsibility for anything that she did.
Right, because she sacrificed herself.
Right? She was like,
She
two
sacrificed
stabs.
herself, now I forgive you.
Right?
Yep.
That's the way that works. You're like, no, you were still a horrible fucking person.
No.
That's all you gotta do to like
Playbook.
make amends. Wow. Holy cow. This book.
But it sets them up nicely to like move to the next plot line without having to deal with any of the residuals from this plot line.
But
Yeah, whatever.
Sarah, you hinted at earlier that there maybe there is some furthering of this plot line with Margo and Margo not actually being dead.
There is another Sweet Valley High book called The Return of the Evil Twin, which has a very similar cover. It's also like Christmas themed.
Gosh.
And we find out that Margo, who has somehow landed on a shard of glass that has gone through her neck and she is bleeding everywhere, in the ambulance pulls the shard of glass out of her neck and uses it to attack the ambulance crew and escape, getting no medical attention and escaping into the night.
Right.
And later, I don't know if she goes and plots revenge. I'm a little fuzzy.
I'm sure she did.
I'm a little fuzzy on the timeline. But we later find out that, so Margo looks exactly like the Wakefield twins. Mm-hmm. Margo herself has an identical twin who also looks exactly like the Wakefield twins. Yes. So Return of the Evil Twin brings in her twin.
Quadruplets.
Yeah. So there's just twins everywhere.
So they could kill Elizabeth and Jessica and just take both of their lives.
I think maybe her twin Nora is trying to kill her.
Oh.
Trying to kill Margo, and so maybe I might be making this up, let's be honest.
That's all
But
right. That sounds good.
I feel like somebody tries to switch spots with one of the Wakefield twins to avoid being killed by her own twin. Because it worked so well the first time.
Definitely. You're like, no, it's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wow. Just All right. We had some big learnings from this book. I'll say there were some rather large takeaways from it. So, Sarah and Hannah, you guys read this when you were considerably younger for the first time. Coming back to reread it as an adult, what were some of your no, or things that you picked up on that you did not pick up on as a kid or preteen, young adult? Sure.
They're like twin connection, which is a through line through all of the books. But in this one, it's like there are things that like hinge on like Jessica knew that something was wrong.
They had the same
Elizabeth
dream.
was in danger. They had this shared dream, and as a twin, I call bullshit on this.
Bullshit.
You think that if they did really have a twin connection, they could have worked out their problems a little better.
Right. Yeah. Their twin connection only kicks in when the problem is external. It doesn't kick in when the problem is that they are not communicating with each other.
Right.
Oh, and I mean, I get the whole like family connection thing.
Yeah.
We have like of the women in my family, we call it like the Holter women, connection stuff. There have definitely been times where on multiple occasions we go to pick up the phone to call one, like my mom or my sister, and one of the other of us is already calling. And it's not about anything important. It's just those things, family connection stuff. But no, we do not have the same dreams. You
don't know, they're in danger.
Like I didn't get a stomach ache when my sister got a flat tire. I'm like, oh gosh. Whatever. Those things. Well, it's there, but no.
Well, we read this book in middle school, or the whole series in middle school.
Yeah.
And
like
so
grade school.
My biggest takeaway from it, and the thing I look back on now, is that, it was like, man, you really think high school is going to be exciting? None of this stuff happened.
It's a lot of like going to class and being embarrassed when like the boy you like sees you not be able to get into your locker.
Right. There were like no sequin tube dresses. There were,
Speak for yourself.
Okay, that's me. But the Sweet Valley High world is much different than real high school, and probably that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they were models and they got to be on a TV show and they got to be in a movie and they got to, like, all of these things happen to them where you're like, none of these things happen to people.
right? Well, is it that the Sweet Valley High world is different from the regular world, or is it that the Sweet Valley High school is so much different from Waupun High School?
Well,
Fair point.
As a good chunk of us have grown up in central Wisconsin,
so something
It's mostly
that Sweet
Southeastern,
Valley
right?
High does not have.
I mean, I didn't find high school to be exceptionally boring. I did some exciting things, So
is it just us?
I remember, like, I traveled to California with kids because I won some contest. I was in a play that was downtown and got to get out of school, and the whole choir came to see me in the play because it was like a real play. Stuff like that. That was kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Not being on TV, not like murder, but
Luckily.
I thought
Right?
it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, there was like creepy murders in our town, but that's just a Wisconsin thing. If you're not super
that's true.
familiar, we grow some serial killers here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the fact that it's cold 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
We get antsy. There's not really anything else to do.
Nothing to do but murder your neighbors.
Well, a little bit. These things happen. But I agree.
Sweet Valley High never had bring your tractor to school day. I guarantee it. All right. So who's the real winner here?
Try and slash those tires. But they also did very grown-up stuff, like the high school going on dates.
No,
you
no.
didn't go on dates like
No,
that.
no.
You did not go to a beach disco. What?
No, it. I did think she said to her. Lila said, "Oh no." Jessica said to Lila, "Oh, did you sit and watch boys?" And I was thinking, you know, at like 16, like watching boys and thinking they were like, I didn't think a butt was cute till I was like 24. Like that wasn't something, you know, when my mom's like, look at his butt. I was like, what? I was attracted to the 14-year-old boy that was like 5 inches shorter than me, who still looked 11. I don't like, but because you're a child still.
Yeah, but let's take that back to the fact that your mom was like, hey, look at his butt.
I mean, I remember when my mom saw the movie Rob Roy, like I think you see Liam Neeson's butt, and she was wholeheartedly into it.
Mm-hmm. She
never would have said, look at his butt, though.
No. She loved the George Michael video Faith, and it's his butt the whole time. Yeah. And then I have like forever thought that blue high heels were like the most grown-up thing ever because she's tapping on this box with the blue high heels. Mm-hmm. I bought a pair.
Man, I honestly don't know who my mom thought was attractive. Like when she was like, she never commented on those things. My
mom's super young though. She was 18 when I was born, so 19.
My mom likes a Scottish accent.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, fair enough.
I should see if she's seen Outlander.
So Michelle and I read this as adults.
Yes.
And I think it was a little more ridiculous, at least on my point. It was a little more ridiculous because I just couldn't. I was like, come on. People don't look alike.
Nope. People don't look alike.
You don't look alike. Even if you're twins, you don't look alike.
Even identical twins, you can, like, if you know them, you can tell.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know,
there's no way. There's no way you would not, like, you know the difference between identical twins. There's no way a stranger twin would. No.
Yeah.
A stranger couldn't fool
the
two
twins,
of them, like, with each other. That wouldn't work.
As an adult, more than like the ridiculousness, because you're supposed to ignore that part, was the mundane things that were just wrong about teenagers in general. Like they don't talk like that. They don't think about stuff like that. They're like drinking the coffee and thinking they were going to be sore and looking at. No, that's not teenager thoughts.
The most realistic teen response, in my opinion, was Jessica being just absolutely crushed because like the boy broke up with her. Right. That was the one time when I was like, that's totally like teenage response.
Finally, right?
Also 35-year-old response.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
if you're
So the book was obviously written by a ghostwriter, but I feel like the ghostwriter was writing for the adult actors who would play the teens in the series. Like you were writing this for James Vanderbeek, playing as a teenager,
playing Josh.
Yeah,
I just
playing Josh Smith.
Is he Josh or is he Todd?
I feel like Todd would maybe be like, like.
Picture him dark-haired for some reason.
Young James Marsden.
What's his name? Sarah Michelle Gellar's husband.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah, what a Todd.
Yeah,
he's basically played Todd multiple times.
Yes, he always played. Yes.
Yep. And the actor who died in the car crash. Oh my gosh, he was also in Varsity Blues.
Paul Walker.
He would have been in this. Yeah, definitely in this series.
Maybe Paul Walker would have been James, like the bad boy.
No, he would have been
a leather jacket.
the Santa guy, the bro dude.
Winston.
I keep thinking of, so every time James happens in the book, I think of the guy on the other biker guy on Twin Peaks.
I think of Crybaby.
Oh man.
I picture James as being really little.
Fair.
No, it's not Crybaby. What is it? He's like the crushed soul searching. Never mind, I can't remember.
Fair enough. Well, all right. We'll check in with that next week. We'll figure it out. Oh, man. So much good thing. Now that we've cast this series, everyone, Hollywood, get on it.
When Peggy Sue got married. The guy who she gives all the info to, and he's like the soul-searching rebel. Anyways.
Okay. You guys look him up and then just leave his name in the comments. That'd be great.
Yeah. Don't forget while you're down there to like and subscribe and do those things.
And then tune in next week, next Wednesday, when we'll be taking on Judy Blume's Blubber. Wow.
Problematic pet phobia for your New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and bullying.
Whoa.
Woo! Yeah, good times. Lots of good stuff for that. But thank you very much to Sexy Hackers Clothing for giving us this awesome space every week to rock this out. And thank you so much to Sarah Wallisch and Hanna Wallisch for driving up from Kenosha to join us. Super drive from Kenosha to Oak Creek. No?
Not that far.
And Miss Michelle White. I'm Laura Holterman, and we will see you guys all next week. Bye.
SexyHackers.com Stream Team.